hope we all learned something. With that, we'll go to our invocation and pledge of allegiance with Commissioner Mark Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. Dear most gracious, loving Father, creator of all things, I come to you tonight, Lord, just thanking you for the wonderful holiday we had, Father, to think about the resurrection of your Son, Jesus Christ, who came to our earth to seek and to save all that will. Father, and I ask a special prayer tonight for the Pope, that you just open your heavenly arms, Father, and accept him into heaven there. Father, for us, as we go through this meeting tonight, I just pray that your divine intervention will be with everything we say and do, and that your will be carried out in each and every thought and each and every word that is spoken here tonight. Father, I'm thankful for the opportunity that we have to come and to serve this county and this state and this country, Father, for we live in the greatest place in the world, and I'm so thankful for it. And here, let me finish up by saying I'm so thankful for your Son, Jesus Christ, who is our everlasting Savior, Father. And I just pray that you'll be with everyone here tonight. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
If you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have item number 10 has been pulled from the agenda tonight by the sheriff. Is there any additions or anything else needs to be pulled from the agenda? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll motion that we accept the agenda as it is.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, likewise. Ayes have it, motion carries. Our consent agenda. I take it everyone's had time to go over the consent agenda. If no one has any questions, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed likewise. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. And now we get down to our recognitions and presentations, and we have a proclamation recognizing National Library Week, and this proclamation will be by Commissioner Mark Griffin. Will the library board come forward, please?
Well, thank you all for coming and being with us tonight. As National Library Week, I'd like to read this proclamation from the Granville County Board of Commissioners. Proclamation recognizing National Library Week. Whereas the Granville County Public Library has long been a cornerstone of educational enrichment and community engagement within our county. And whereas the library's Early literacy storytime sessions provide a warm, nurturing environment where our youngest residents are encouraged to develop a lifelong love of reading and learning. And whereas the library recognizes the value of digital literacy and is proud to offer computer classes taught by dedicated high school interns who impart essential digital skills to patrons of all ages, ensuring that all members of our community are prepared to navigate an increasingly digital world. And whereas the library's innovative Farm to Fridge program not only connects residents with fresh local produce, but also promotes food literacy through engaging cooking classes, empowering our community with the knowledge to make healthier, sustainable food choices. And whereas these programs together exemplify the library's commitment to fostering education, digital empowerment, and nutritional well-being, key elements that strengthen the fabric of our community. Now, therefore, the Granville County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize April the 6th through the 12th, 2025, as National Library Week in Granville County and commends the Granville County Public Library for its exceptional and forward-thinking programs in early literacy, digital literacy, and food literacy. The board extends its appreciation for the library's continued efforts to serve and inspire the people of Granville County. Adopted this 21st day of April, 2025. Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Big thank you to the commissioners for this proclamation and to our great staff and board and everyone who works hard to get Granville County literate and full of food. Thanks.
Commissioner Griffin, may I say just a word, Mr. Chairman? As everyone is going back, I really appreciate our library. I happened to be there just a few days ago here at Thornton, and I will say it is so gratifying, particularly for me to see the children's area and also to see the adults who are there. They depend on that library so much, and I'm just grateful for the investment that the county has made, but also it's good to see how it's being used. And so just hats off, thank you to the board for all of the innovations. And when I came by, I was going to grab some vegetables out of the cooler, but they were empty that day. So I'll come back again and try and grab something next time. But on a serious note, thank you for your leadership and all you've done. Will, you're doing a great job in leading our library system. Thank you.
Thank you. And can we give one more round of applause for the library board? Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. And next we have a recognition of Lonnie Cole Sr. And
look at you here. Lonnie Cole, you have served the STEM Fire and EMS Department 42 years and 2 months, including 32 years as Fire Chief with many years on the Board of Directors, including President. You retired January the 1st, 2019, and was named honorary member at your retirement dinner. You received many certificates and plaques and awards over the years, and in 2016, you received the Old North State Award from Governor Pat McCrory, the second highest award given by a governor. You served the state of North Carolina for 32 years and 10 months, You worked several positions at John Umstead Hospital and Central Regional Hospital. You retired as a Supervisor 2 in the Environmental Services Department September the 1st, 2020. You served the town of STEM as a commissioner for 30 consecutive years from 1988 to 2018. No one in STEM had ever served on the Board of Commissioners for 30 consecutive years. You served on various committees through the years, including Mayor Pro Tem for 2 mayors. You served with 6 different mayors. You received several write-in votes for mayor in 2 elections, even though you were running for re-election as a commissioner. You also served as acting mayor for a few months. And in 2022, you were appointed back to town commissioner after a vacancy for the position came available. Then in the next election cycle in 2023, you were re-elected, and you received the highest votes in that election. And I could go on and on and on of your contribution to serve and service. Due to your outstanding service to your town, your community, your county, and the state of North Carolina, on behalf of Governor Josh Steins, the state of North Carolina, and myself, Frank Sossman, it's my distinct honor to present the highest civilian award conferred upon a citizen of North Carolina, the Order of the Longleaf Pine. And before I give you that, let me just read some of the toast that you are now privileged to memorize if you want to, but you're at least privileged to be able to offer this toast. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the wheat grows strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. Here's to the land where maidens are fair, where friends are true and cold hearts are rare. The near land, the dear land, whatever fate, the blessed land, the best land, the old North State. And I do believe we live in the best state in America. Here is your certificate. It's beautifully framed and presented to you tonight. And again, I appreciate your service to STEM, to your community, to Granville County, and the state of North Carolina. Is there anything you want to say?
I think I'm gonna cry.
Oh, yeah.
I thank the Lord for letting me serve my state and my community and my town, and I thank you for recognizing me.
Well, you're welcome, Lonnie.
I really sincerely appreciate that.
Well, you deserve it. I know you're humble, but you deserve it. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Frank.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right. Next item on our agenda tonight is public comments, and we didn't have anyone sign up for public comments. And item number 10 has already been pulled. And then we have budget matters. We have an update on Board of Elections. And let's see, is Ms. Tanya Burnett here?
Yes,
Yes. Thank you.
While she's coming up, Mr. Chair, I'll just note that this year had a number of unforeseen election-related challenges that resulted in some significant budget overages. They all make sense to me, but I also wanted to give Ms. Burnett the opportunity to explain them to you all in advance of a budget amendment that will come next month to cover those overages. But asked her and her board to come this evening and kind of give a rundown of what happened and what it caused.
Thank you, County Manager Cummings. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to come tonight and talk about our budget overage for the Board of Elections, and this is for fiscal year 24-25. And this was due to circumstances that were beyond our control. And I also want to thank all of you for all that you do for us every day. So thank you. We do have some board members here tonight that I'll just introduce for you. We have our chairman, Sharon Alvarez. We have Elizabeth Torres Evans, our secretary. We have Debbie Butler, and we have Teresa Gilreath. We also have some of our staff here, a full-time staff, Marianne Smith, and we also have Lynn Dennis, a part-time staff, and that helps us. We have had a very challenging time in elections, and this has been in 2024 and has continued into 2025. The election from 2024 is not over yet. There were several key factors that contributed to our budget overage, and so I'm going to talk about those tonight and then allow you time to ask questions. Our early voting hours, I know you hear about early voting hours a lot. They were very long, and these are legislatively mandated. They are not set by my board. A typical day for us was around 7 to 8 o'clock a.m. to approximately 9:30, 10:30, or 11:30 at night. And that was when our chief judges came in. They dropped off our ballots, paperwork, and supplies. Once they come in, we still have to balance each site each day. We have to pull their documents. They have to be copied. Then we have to mail postcards to voters within a 2-day time frame. And then we have to sort our ballots by write-ins and lock those up each night. Our board was even meeting one night at midnight, counting absentee ballots. And going forward for November, there's a law that we will have to likely work all night. We cannot go home until we can finish counting all of our ballots. So that could mean some election delays, or we're not sure yet. We'll do our trial run for November unless something changes with the law. We had 3 early voting sites that we had to staff, and we had record turnout at our early voting sites. For the early voting Oxford site, we had 10,215 voters. Early voting Creedmoor, 9,419 voters. And early voting Wilton with 5,900 voters. Some poll workers didn't show up, didn't tell us they were not going to work, so other people had to stay and manage that site to keep it running, just to make sure we had coverage. We tried to do shifts to try to save money, but we weren't always able to do that. Also, with this huge turnout, our poll workers were overwhelmed. We also had 2 election specialist staff and the deputy director who accrued comp time, and we worked well into December with the required election task. So some of that was comp time that was paid out. These factors increased our salaries, FICA, retirement amounts, creating an overage of approximately $43,939. Due to the extreme workload on our office from the public, requesting and returning absentee ballots, requests where we make photo IDs in our office now, getting out the absentee ballot packets, processing the returned absentee ballots for the board meetings, phone calls, and boxes of thousands of voter registration forms that were delivered to our office by the State Board of Elections and had to be processed in addition to the ones that we already were receiving. We had to hire 2 temporary full-time employees from August to December and 1 temporary part-time employee from September to December of 2024. We were required to conduct a sample audit count by hand. We had to have a bipartisan team of 4 to be able to do this, and our board had to be present and supervise the count. The Oxford early voting site and Oak Hill precinct were the 2 sites selected. So that was 10,492 ballots that had to be counted by hand by this team. It took 5 days to complete, working day and night. And if we had not finished this count within that 5-day window, we would not have been able to canvass per the state board. But we were able to finish it. We had some very good poll workers that helped us to do that. Then we had a recount, and this was a recount that was requested by Representative Sossaman's campaign. And again, the Oxford early voting site, and this is randomly done, was chosen again with 10,215 ballots that had to be counted again by a bipartisan team by hand. Then our next recount was for the North Carolina Supreme Court seat 6, and that was the Wilton early voting site with over 9,000 ballots that had to be counted by hand. And then finally, we had a machine recount, which we have a high-speed scanner, and we had to count 32,221 ballots using the high-speed scanner. That took actually 2 full days and nights. We worked till about 9 o'clock at night. And for that, I had been given a quote of $10,000 for that recount. I reached out to the State Board of Elections and asked them to assist us with that, and that did save our county $10,000. So that's what our vendor would have charged us for that recount. So these unanticipated factors created an overage of approximately $22,062 for our contract services labor. North Carolina was one of the first states in the nation to send out absentee ballots. It was a state deadline of September 6th that we had to send these absentee ballots out. We, the People Party presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and vice presidential candidate Nicole Shanahan asked to be removed from our ballot. These ballots had already been printed. So due to the lateness of that time and also the expense of having to reprint ballots for all the counties, the state board denied that request. A lawsuit was filed against the state board requesting a restraining order to stop ballots from being issued. The case was heard in Wake County Superior Court, and a request for a temporary restraining order was denied and the ruling stayed. It was appealed to the North Carolina Court of Appeals, where the decision was reversed and remanded, allowing the removal of the names and ballots to be reprinted. It was appealed by the State Board to the North Carolina Supreme Court and was ordered that ballots be destroyed and reprinted without the We the People candidates on them. It was a very quick turnaround to make this happen across the state. So we were working with our vendor. We held everything, and then once we had to destroy things, we had to destroy the ballots, reprint them. In addition to that, while we were waiting for that court decision to come down from the Supreme Court, we still had to prepare as if it was going to come down, even though we didn't know what would happen. So our coding, our ballot proofs, our work in our state system, all had to be redone, and it had to be ready to go when the state said go. State Board instructed us to destroy and reprint these ballots per that court order, and the cost was unfortunately something that was an expense that would have to be paid by counties. I kept County Manager Cummings, Attorney Wren, and my board informed, and I have included a letter in your packet. You should have that from our vendor, Printellect. He talks about a lot of the things of the quick turnaround, the cost involved, the labor of running shifts 7 days a week, shifts day and night, just trying to make all this happen, turn this around to meet our deadline. So there were extra costs incurred that this vendor had to charge to be able to do this. We had to set new dates for our absentee ballots for September 20th for Uwakava, military and overseas, and September 24th for civilian and blind voters. We already had approximately 1,000 absentee ballot requests that were in-house at this time. Unfortunately, we had worked overtime to make sure these packets were assembled with lots of materials inside, the ballots inside, ready to go. We just had to put postage on them. And we worked that overtime to try to meet that September 6th deadline, only to find out that they also had to be destroyed and reprinted, and our envelopes had to be reordered in a very quick time frame to get those absentee envelopes out by our new deadline. So it was a whole lot to do in a very short time. So we did incur additional costs to reprint the ballots, our envelopes, our packet information, and we had to then reassemble all these packets again to meet this new deadline. Forms still had to be copied. Also, a lot of them keep changing due to legislative and court rulings. So this impacted our printing and copying costs. And this created an overage of approximately $18,680. Due to the ballots being required to be destroyed and reprinted, the voting machine coding had to be redone. And the voting machine test deck, we have a big test deck of thousands of ballots that have to be configured in a mathematical pattern that we test our voting machines with every election. And that test deck also had to be redone. Luckily, our logic and accuracy testing, where we test every single voting machine every election before we can put it out into use, had not been done. So fortunately, we did not have to incur another cost for that logic and accuracy testing. Due to these unanticipated factors, contracted services equipment had an overage of $9,726. Other unanticipated factors that contributed to our budget overage were also a lot of our new poll workers were appointed with no experience, so we had to provide them additional training. And in turn, we also had to move people around just so we had experienced people working with inexperienced people so that we would balance out our sites. We also had a huge increase as far as legal fees due to challenges and protests. We also had an increase in our forms, as I mentioned, due to legislative and court changes. We continue to have an overwhelming amount of voluminous public records requests, and these are both for in-person and for written response. We have received approximately 160 requests that we have to respond to, and we've gotten that down to approximately 50-ish left to do, but they're continuing to come in pretty much weekly. Also, we did have one case here where our board member salaries were under budgeted. That was just something when we initially did our budget. So our total overage is approximately $94,407. And we would like to request the Board of Commissioners to approve additional funding of $60,000 for our fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. We currently have approximately $34,407 remaining in our budget that we can use towards this overage. So that's where the additional money will come from. And I certainly understand fiscal responsibility, and I've assured County Manager Cummings that unless it's something that I have to spend money on, I do not plan on spending that money through June 30th. So I just want to let you know that. I want to thank you for your time and your consideration tonight, and I would also like to thank Drew, his staff, and the Finance Department, Jennifer and her staff, for their assistance in helping us with our budget information for you. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? I think you laid it out pretty clear.
Thank you. I was trying to make it as easy as possible. A whole lot was happening.
You've had, you and your board have, and employees have had, certainly had a extremely challenging year, and let's hope next year's better.
Yes, sir. We hope. We don't know. We still have one race that's undecided, and we're not sure where that's headed, but I will keep you and County Manager Cummings informed. So.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mrs. Burnett, to you and your board and to the staff members who are here from the Board of Elections, there are so many people who have called on your office, and I just want to thank you for the professionalism and the patience that you've shown in answering questions, and I'm just grateful. And people from other counties have talked to me about your leadership, and we're just grateful to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that and the kind words. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Ms. Burnett.
Yes, sir.
So, in part of your, for the next year's budget, have you provided the county manager, I'm sure you have, but with reasonable increases to your poll worker salaries so that you can fill those positions and don't feel like you have to be recruiting in the, have an issue recruiting at that compensation level?
I think we have it covered, but I know there's going to be some other things that are going to be coming our way or could be coming our way that we may have to increase. But I do think we have our budget covered right now. But I'll be happy to revisit that with our county manager and make sure that we feel confident in that.
So, Commissioners, my concern is always, in listening to the my concern in listening to constituents and like most of you, spend many hours at the polls. I want to make sure that we're providing the appropriate level of compensation to make sure that they don't have to scramble the way that they, I think, historically have had to scramble to get the poll workers they need to fill those positions. So that's, as we go through the budget, I hope that will be something, if it comes up, we can discuss, and if not, county manager can bring it to our attention.
Thank you. Is there anyone else have any questions? Then we'll entertain a motion to approve the $60,000 to be transferred.
Make a motion, we approve the transfer.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and we have 2 seconds. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Ayes have it. Motion's carried, and thank you so much. Our next item of business is our appointments and reappointments to the Vance County Community College Board of Trustees. And the trustees of each community college institution shall constitute the local administrative board of such institution with such powers and duties as are provided in General Statute 115D-20 and as delegated to it by the State Board of Community Colleges. Granville County residents currently serving on the Vance Granville Community College Board of Trustees. Dr. Howard was appointed by the governor. Ms. Harris was appointed by the Board of Education. Ms. Stovall was appointed by the county commissioners, and Commissioner Russ May was appointed by the county commissioners. The term of Commissioner Russ May expires June 30th, 2025. Session Law 2024-4, Senate Bill 764, was ratified to create staggered terms for certain community college boards. Commissioner May's initial appointment was set for 1 year, July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, to align with the new staggering requirements. The seat is now open for reappointment for a full 4-year term beginning July 1st, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer a motion to reappoint.
Second, I'm sorry. Commissioner Gray. I jumped the gun.
Commissioner Russ May.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to reappoint Commissioner May. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Well, I appreciate the rapid response there, Mr. J. You got me before I got you, so thank you. It's a privilege to serve, though. Appreciate it.
All right. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Ayes have it. Motion carries. And now, our county manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No items tonight.
Thank you. Do we have any items for the county attorney?
I have 2 matters for attorney-client privilege.
Okay, thank you. All right, and now our board members will give reports and make announcements. Commissioner Mark Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Only have one thing tonight. I just want to reiterate, tomorrow night at 6:30, we'll be having a town hall meeting at the fire department in STEM, located at 100 Franklin Street in the town of STEM, for the residents of Deerfield subdivision. They have some concerns about their community and upkeeps of the road and about the safety of their residents, and so we're going to have a meeting tomorrow night. I want to thank Mr. Cummings for allowing Barry Baker to come and be with us, and the sheriff for bringing some of his staff tomorrow night. And I also want to thank the fire chief down at STEM, Chief Watson, for allowing us to use the fire department. So I hope that we can get something taken care of with those people and calm their nerves a little bit. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Griffin. Commissioner Cozart.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say how grateful I am that we have our 2 homes in the county, the Central Children's Home and the Masonic Home for Children. The efforts they make to take care of the young ones that they serve is really commendable. We do look forward to Central Children's Home Day coming up, and the Masonic Home for Children is looking forward to a great celebration as well. I also wanted to just point out that we recently had a Timeout Tuesday in the county sponsored by Smart Start, but it was really to help child care centers. And I just want to give a shout out tonight for all of those young people in our county who take care of the youngest of our children. Mr. Sossman, we worked on that for a long time, and we're just grateful for that dedication that they give every day for the children. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Cozart. Commissioner May.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Winborn pulled me aside last week and let me know that the South Granville project for the weight room should commence shortly. And so that is their complete renovation of the high school's weight room and athletic facility there. It is a joint project taken on by this board and the school board, both with funding from both the county and funding that was provided to the school board to meet this project. The other project will soon begin as well, I believe. So that's a move forward, something that's needed, and we're appreciative for that. We had a good meeting today with District 5 DOT. Commissioner Williford, Commissioner Jay was there. Our concerns are we have some really problematic intersections that need attention. And as much as we ask for funding, as much as we write, email at the RPO meetings and the Campo meetings, we're not getting results. And so I felt comfortable today, based on our conversation, through a combination of things that we may do and they may do, that we may see some impact at the Cornwall and 96 intersection, at the Salem Road and Highway 96, the loop, and at and at Highway 56 and Grove Hill Road, where Suits Road is, and the Red Barn. We also mentioned Sam Moss Hayes Road and Hayes Road. And so, and the further conversation is that we hope to meet with Secretary Hopkins of DOT Transportation. And here's the issue, is that we're in a DOT district which encompasses both Wake County and Durham County, and we're competing for funds. And it's an impossible climb for a county of our size based on our population and revenue base. And so we believe that the State Transportation Improvement Plan needs some modification to that plan so that it will take in consideration counties such as Granville County who struggle to compete based on that standard formula. We're hopeful that through that conversation and further conversation with other legislators, that we may be able to come up with a means in which we can, the rural counties can be better served, and particularly Granville County, as we pointed out to them, that, for instance, the enhancements for Highway 56 according to the State Transportation Improvement Plan, are not to 2045. And even though we're doing a county study through Campo to take in most of southern Granville, much of Highway 15, much of Highway 96, 56, and 50. The reality of it is that study, we're hopeful that can be used on the State Transportation Improvement Plan. But even with that, that may not be enough. So if there's not some legislative changes, we will definitely be in a situation 5, 10, 20 years from now. So the message to the public is that we are planning and we are trying and all means and methods that we have before us, but we cannot move that ball but so far because that is the roadways in Granville County are all owned by the state of North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner May. Commissioner Karen.
Good evening. So first I'd like to say thank you to the board for allowing me to miss our first meeting of the month. I thought about y'all while I was away, so appreciate that. It was a fantastic respite for myself and my wife to get out and explore the world a little bit. Second, I'd like to say that just received a text from Mayor Dover of STEM, and he wanted to congratulate Lonnie Cole Sr. on his award and publicly say that he's sorry that he was able to attend, but you kept it so close to the vest that no one knew that you were getting this award. And we are going to shout it from the rooftops. Let it be known that on Wednesday, you'll be honored at your commissioners meeting in STEM. I know that when Commissioner Cozart received his, because this is quite a distinguished group, he had no idea that he was going to be getting it. So I know that sometimes there's a little bit of secrecy around this high of an honor, being it is the highest civilian honor that anyone can receive from the governor. So again, on behalf of the mayor who missed it tonight from STEM, he congratulates you. So thank you very much. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Karen, and you do look rested and fresh. Glad to have you back. Commissioner Jay.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williford.
Very briefly, I do want to thank Commissioner May for setting up the meeting today. Very worthwhile. Unfortunately, we are in a district with Wake County and Durham County, and they suck all their air out of the room. So we're stuck with the leftovers. And while we have multiple areas in the county, all throughout the county where there are multiple wrecks, and this was brought up today, they grade it based on fatalities and the seriousness of injuries. And I thought it was absolutely terrible, but they don't make the rules, they just follow them. So one of the areas is at the Salem Road and Loop Road, and we have a lot of high school students that have just gotten driver's license, they're inexperienced. We have Revlon that is getting out about the change of shifts about the same time, and that has multiple wrecks. And I have a constituent that sends me emails and pictures every time it occurs, and I welcome that. And there was one this past week, and there was one of the Friday. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt. About 6 weeks ago, there was 2 people seriously hurt, and I think one of them is still recovering. I find it unfortunate that we have to grade based on the seriousness and fatalities. I'd hate to have to go tell a parent that their child was killed in a wreck, but that's going to help us get a stop sign, or excuse me, a stoplight. But that's, again, they're not making the rules, they just have to follow them. But I do want to thank Commissioner May. They heard from Commissioner Jay and myself and Commissioner May, there's areas all throughout the county, there's just no funding, or the priority of those funds, we're at the bottom. But we're all working hard, we're all trying. One more thing, and this is on a sadder note, the city of Oxford and Granville County lost a historian this past week, Royster Washington, longtime resident. His parents were residents. Mark, I think you can say he was a historian. He knew what had happened back in the 1800s. Royster passed away unexpectedly, I believe, last Thursday. And His son is Yancey Washington, our clerk of court. So we'd like to just extend, he has another daughter, Fairleigh, lives in Raleigh. So our condolences. He leaves behind 2 children, several grandchildren, and his wife, Isabella. So we do hate that. Royster was a good man. I always enjoyed my conversations with him at the hardware store, and also just the historical value that he brought to this county. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Williford. And I'd also like to extend my condolences to the family of Royster Washington. It's a tragic loss to our community, and we all face that one day. On a lighter note, many of you probably know that I'm an avid motorcyclist. I enjoy riding motorcycles, and I can concur with the condition of the roads in Granville County because I ride the back roads quite a bit for pleasure, to get away. And I know the dangers involved. And I just like to remind everyone that next month is Motorcycle Awareness Month, and the slogan is "Look twice and save a life." Life might be mine. I've gotten run off the road several times at different places, and people almost merged into my lane without seeing me, and it happens. But I accept that as part of the deal. And with that, I don't have anything further tonight. Do we have any other business to come before us before we go to closed session? If not, we'll entertain a motion to go into closed session with a 5-minute break in between.
Make that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Ayes have it, motion carries. We will convene in closed session in 5 minutes.